Hello everybody, I am ThatOneComicGuy, and today we are taking a look at Damsels Don't Wear Glasses, or Damsels for short. This is an urban fantasy comic that takes place in a city filled with mystical creatures and magic of all shapes and kinds. We see animated objects, possessed clothing, necromancy, enchanted items, and even ley line usage. Along with that, we see a bustling city of people trying to get by, whether it's through underhanded means or something more above board. We start our story on one such job, meeting our heroine for the foreseeable future, Lav Faraday. She's keeping her eye on a cemetery when, lo and behold, something happens. A young man by the name of Kestrel is attempting to perform necromancy for some reason, but things get out of control very quickly. What was going to be a pleasant evening of cult sacrifice and raising the dead turns into a night of the living dead as a horde of zombies begins to rise, which spurs Faraday to quickly think of a plan to save the day. Hopefully. Kestrel ends up bitten and, for the lack of a better word, mutated to have shark-like fangs, a bony tail that seems to sprout from his spine, and a penchant for speaking in eldritch voices. All in all, pretty much what you'd expect from a story like this. After that incident, we transition to a police station where Lav is given custody of a young boy named Jake, who appears to have a sort of anxiety and fear regarding anything not remotely human. It's here the story really starts going, as we are given plot elements, one after another, and introduced to a colorful cast of characters in quick succession. It's mostly seeing characters from Faraday's past, but we do get some very interesting interactions between Jake and something by the name of Aish. Whoever this new entity is seems to have a reputation as we watch various people go out of their way to confirm that they are back. This entire plot just screams conspiracy, and honestly, I'm all for it. Whenever conspiracy theory and magic mingle together, you just know things are going to get weird and crazy, and boy, have things gotten pretty weird already. Something I can't wait to see more of, honestly, are Jake's interactions and developments between Faraday as well as the rest of the new world that surrounds him. For the most part, Jake's remarks and comments come off as the ignorance of a 12-year-old child who is scared and lashing out, but there are moments where he seems to be intentionally malicious. I'm not saying his comments are okay, ignorance does not excuse cruelty of any kind, but as a character, the possibilities here are just so enticing, I wish I could jump ahead and see where they are already. Of course, like everyone else, I have to wait ever so patiently for the next update. Because it's still fairly new, clocking in at just about 6 chapters at the time of writing this, there's so much room for Damsels to grow and expand on all the lore and questions that have been raised throughout the story. It's not necessarily a weakness because, again, it's still new. There are many things that haven't been explained, so I can see some people putting this comic on the back burner, at least until it's gotten 3 or more chapters in. Because of its current length, I don't have much in the way of negative remarks at the moment. The story, for the most part, has enough here to really grab your attention and hold it to the end of the updates. I do wish it updated a bit more often, like twice a week instead of once. But I also understand that not every creator can churn out pages as fast as others. Some people have lives outside of their comic, while others simply don't want to overwhelm themselves with an insane workload that comes with more rapid updates. Either way, I respect the time this creator takes to give us an update as often as they do. I do appreciate the way the creator takes the time to write Faraday's dialogue to show her accent. I'm not entirely sure what kind of accent that's being emulated, but I can appreciate all the subtle words and letter changes that are made so that the way she speaks is really allowed to get across to the readers. I also love how often Faraday tries her best to correct Jake, no matter how many times he says the incorrect things, but once he goes too far, she has no qualms of showing him that he has done wrong. Of course, I also can't forget to mention how well done the scenes of Jake's panic attacks are. It just really comes out of nowhere, as some panic attacks often do, and you see the clear triggers in the tipping point. I definitely have to give a trigger warning for that scene in particular for any who might be prone to them as well, but for me personally, I just have to say it's a very well done scene. The growth that we see Jake, Faraday, and even Kestrel go through because of the various traumas, interactions, and new experiences really gives off a found family vibe. They haven't exactly become a cohesive unit just yet, but you can clearly see the signs. This is either going to end up with them all being a family, or we'll see one of one or more of them become the biggest villain of the entire comic. Either way, it will be a wonderful payoff one way or another. If you like a good urban fantasy story with some conspiracy and mystery thrown in for that extra spice, then I highly recommend you give this comic a try. If you're new to the urban fantasy genre, even more so. Damsels Don't Wear Glasses is a gem in the midst of being polished and shaped, and you should definitely come along for the ride. Be sure to check out the creators' links down below and give them a follow. Like what I do, I have a Patreon where you can get access to my videos a day early. And, as always, I hope you enjoy, as much as I do. Till next time.